Hello, my name is Michaela. Welcome back to another video. This is just gonna be like a vlog type. I don't know how many days it's gonna be, but it's gonna be fun. Today is pretty low key. We are gonna head to Trader Joe in a minute. I have some reading I really wanna get done today, but we'll just see what kind of silly goose time we get up to. To start off today's vlog though, I need to tell you about a book that I read. It is a book that I'm sure you are familiar with if you are on book social media at all whatsoever, or if you've looked for book recs recently in the past like week or so, because this book has taken the book world by storm. Do a second to guess. One. Okay, Fourth Wing, Rebecca Yarros. Y'all, this book is so accurately hyped. I think in the last vlog, I told you guys I finally got this book delivered. I have since read it. I think I read it in 2 days. It was a buddy read. It was a great time. We both loved it so much. It is peak fantasy romance for me. I am a self-proclaimed romantasy girly, so I love the romance fantasy, like that crossover genre is my bread and butter. And Rebecca Yarros did an absolutely amazing job and knocked this out of the park. It is so good. What I love about this book is it is enemies to lovers. Now, I feel like sometimes where authors or books miss the mark with an enemies to lovers is they say, oh, it's marketed as enemies to lovers, but really one of the people in the relationship always had a soft spot for the other, or maybe they weren't really enemies, they just didn't really like each other. I want enemies to want to kill each other. I want them to have like deep-seated familial trauma and history that crosses over, and they like rightfully hate each other. And this book really delivers on that enemies to lovers for me. If at one point they're not trying to the other one, I don't want to deem it as an enemies to lovers. And this was enemies to lovers, guys. It was so good. If you like dragons, read this book. I am a big Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon girly, and this really got me my dragon fix that I've been missing out ever since House of the Dragon. That season 1 ended. I thought it was really cool. I have not read a lot of fantasy books that incorporated dragons before, and I thought that Rebecca Yarros did a wonderful job. So let me just be another person you hear raving about this book, telling you it's so, so good. I won't lie to you guys, I promise. It's really good. If you have read this book, please let me know. Or if you have recommendations similar to this, like an enemies to lovers. I also really like the school dynamic in this book. If you know, you know. I encourage you to go into this book blind, as I do with every book, because I think it just makes for a much more enjoyable experience. I wanted to start off kind of raving about this book that I read, because it's really freaking good. I think that book got me out of my reading slump, because I had been in a reading slump basically ever since reading The Ashen Star Cursed King. I followed it up with Happy Place, and it was just kind of a lot of emotional trauma back to back, do you know what I mean? So I think this book got me out of it. It was such a good book, which typically puts me in a reading slump, but I feel almost like motivated or invigorated to start another book. Like it kind of kick-started me a little bit back in my reading era. So hopefully I get some reading done today. I will pick you up, I guess, when I'm doing something more interesting than sitting on the floor. Okay, we got our Starbucks, and I've switched up my drink a little bit. It's their new white chocolate macadamia nut cream cold brew. And it's seriously so good. I highly recommend it. If you are a fellow white chocolate macadamia nut girl, white chocolate macadamia cookies are my favorite. And so this is like the best of both worlds for me. So I highly recommend. We are caffeinated, and now we're heading to Trader Joe's. And that's my update. Cheers. Hyperfixation salad time. I have my Big Daddy Hidden Valley ready to go, drinking my coffee, and then just watching YouTube, because I cannot eat a meal unless I'm also watching something. It's just too boring. So I'll catch you when my salad is 8. My salad was so good. Thank you so much for asking. As you can see, we have transitioned upstairs, my favorite reading spot, just my bed. We are starting a new buddy read today. It's on KU. It's Trial of the Sun Queen. It's first in a series. It's supposed to be kind of giving what Fourth Wing gave. We will be the judges of that. So I'm going to start that, and I have my coffee still, I have my water. Let's see how much reading I can get done right now. Okay, I read, I think 107 exactly pages of the Trial of the Sun Queen. It is kind of marketed, the blurbs in the back say Hunger Games meets The Bachelor. And as a girl who is obsessed with the Hunger Games still at the age of 25, grew up being a part of Bachelor Nation. I haven't watched Bachelor in the past like 5 or so years, but like that was a part of like my family time, was watching The Bachelor, Bachelorette. I'm gonna take a break. Downloaded the new Zelda game on Nintendo Switch. I don't know how many of us are other gamers out there. I'm a gamer. It's Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and it's on the Switch. And I love Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is also on the Switch. I played that a lot last year, but this is like the new Zelda Switch game. And so I think I'm going to play a little bit of that, then maybe like dinner and then read some more. I don't know. Probably should start reading another book. I recently found out what the website NetGalley is. Do you guys know what NetGalley is? Basically a website that publishers use to send out ARCs, which are advanced readers copies. So you could have the opportunity to get books before anyone else gets books. You can get these books for free. And basically all you have to do is just like say that you're gonna review it and then send them the review. I have never had a NetGalley account, which I feel like is kind of not ordinary for like book creators. A lot of people that I'm friends with and that I follow have had these NetGalley accounts forever, and I just never made one. I'm a procrastinator to my core, and so I just never made one. But on Friday I made one, and all you have to do is like fill out your little profile. I put down like my Instagram, my TikTok, my YouTube, basically anywhere I talk about books, my Goodreads, that sort of thing. And then you can just sort through different books and then click request. And it was all fun and games when I was just clicking request on every book I thought sounded cool, but then I got approved for like 3 right away, and I was like, crap. Number one, really cool free books. I will never not think that that's amazing, but now I have to read them by a certain time and make sure I get that review in. And since I requested ARCs of these books, I'm gonna read them and give a review. I think it would just be like a bitch move to be like, hey, can I get your free book, and then not even review it. That wouldn't be nice. But I need to read those and I probably need to like set myself on a schedule so I make sure I get them done. So maybe I'll read one of those ARCs later today. Hopefully they're not too long. I don't know, that's just kind of my update for you. Just kind of wanted to update you guys on the day so far. Dinner time, I made fiesta pasta. It looks very yummy. And then obviously a Coke Zero. Cheers. Day, we are back home now. The last clip was this strawberry matcha. I have since mixed it up, but guys, if you can get your hands on like a strawberry milk matcha latte sometime this summer, you need to try it. This one's so good. So this morning we've done a couple of things. Number one, we dropped off our dog Max to get groomed, and I don't know if there are any other dog parents out there or pet parents, but when we drop our dog off to get groomed, we get so sad because I don't like being home when he's not here. Like, I work from home, I'm constantly home. And so when he's not here, it feels like our house is not a home, and it makes me really sad. And like, he loves his groomer, he's great, I know he's safe, so I'm not like worried about any of that, but I just don't like when he's not here because I am with him 24/7. I'm sure you've seen him in the background of many clips. And so I just feel sad when he's not here. I'm waiting for my chicken to cook in the air fryer, and then I'm gonna have my hyperfixation salad again. Lunch was so good. Thank you so much for asking. Also, I watched the last clip back. I realized it looks like I like have no hair. It's just really dirty, so I slicked it back with a bunch of gel. It's in a braid. So if you're like, oh my God, Michaela, where'd your hair go? It's just in a braid, and I realized like if you look at me straight on, you can't see my braid. So maybe I'll just talk like this. No, I won't do that. Oh, that's cool. Boom, now it looks like I have hair. I wanted to update you guys because yesterday I talked to you guys about like how I realized or how I created my NetGalley account and I signed up for ARCs, but then I'm worried because I'm a procrastinator. I read 28% of an ARC. And when I tell you I wanted to DNF that at like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25%, but I wanted to give it like the absolute most effort that I could because you're giving me a free book in exchange for an honest review. So I didn't want to just start it and be like, oh, it's not really for me, because like the publisher and the authors rely on those reviews, right? But guys, I don't, and I'm not someone that DNFs books. I don't even remember the last time I DNF'd a book. It had to have been last year at some point. Like, I will read a book and like rate it 2.5 stars, but I'm the kind of person that kind of needs to see it through. I don't like being a quitter. Physically could not will myself to finish the book. Plus, it was a fantasy book, so there was about 600 pages. So I read almost a third of that already. I put in like a few hours of reading. The writing style was very amateur to me. I don't know. I don't want to tell you guys the title of the book because I don't want to like come on here and shit on an author in a book. But I felt really bad because, like I said, this was the first book I read from NetGalley. And so it had a little thing that was like, oh, when you finish reading, write your feedback to send to the publisher. And I was honest. I said I DNF'd it at 28%. The writing style was just not for me. It seemed very amateur. The plot was very confusing. The magic system and world building just didn't make sense. And that's coming from someone that reads a lot of fantasy. So I feel like I have the mind where I can kind of understand like different worlds and different names and that sort of thing. Apparently those reviews are public. Yeah, so I then started to feel like a bitch and I felt really bad because I don't want the author to see that. Like, I feel so bad and I can't find out how to delete it. I don't know. My husband was like, you know, you're being honest, right? Like, you can't just say every book you read is like great, which is valid. And I like to think that I'm like pretty honest and a good reviewer, but I just felt bad because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings ever. And so if she sees that, I really don't want to hurt her feelings. I might just be more of a stickler in terms of writing because I have my master's in English and I was an English teacher. And so I feel like I like hyperfixate more on like the writing style, the structure and that sort of thing. And it was just very not good to me. It was very not good to me. Okay, well, what's done is done. I have 3 more arcs I need to get through, but now I'm nervous because that was the first one that I got from NetGalley and it was a flop. It was not a bop. And so I'm just nervous now going into these next 3. Overall, we're just kind of chilling now until Max is ready to be picked up from the groomers. I think he's gonna be a couple more hours. I just miss my little boy, you know what I mean? So another update, Zelda's really fun. I don't know how many bookish girlies cross over into gamer girlies, but if you do, let me know. That is like so cringe for me to say, but maybe I'll go play some Zelda. That'll make time go by fast, and then maybe Max will be ready to pick up. There he is. Look at your little bow tie. Where's it at? Yeah, look at. Oh, what a handsome boy. He got home and he peed all over himself. He peed all over himself right when he got out of the car. So now we're bathing his legs and his tummy again. Even though he just got groomed, so now he's getting a kitchen bath, a kitchen sink bath. Bubba?
Why?
We went to the gas station because we didn't have any dessert. I got dibs, which I haven't had in a hot minute. I had dibs in a while. They're still very good. And then we got a chocolate chip cookie dough Ben & Jerry's for like the rest of the week, so we can have like a little something something for the rest of the week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for the past couple of days. Fun for me. I hope it was fun for you. As always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you more than you know. Please follow me on Instagram and TikTok, same username here, @Michaela's Reads, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!